Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Michael Hartley with Action Coach. What needs to pivot in my business, kickstart your day, get you refocused, because business is changing daily right now. Good morning and welcome to What Needs to Pivot in Our Business. I am Dr. Michael Hartley. I'm a non-medical type of doctor, and this whole week's focus is going to be on marketing. And so we will work day by day through how to pivot and shift your marketing message, what needs to be focused on to have the strongest marketing message, ultimately how to test and measure it. And we'll have, again, at the end of the week, we'll have a free resource for you from sticking with us and learning every single day. So let's dive in. Again, we want to focus on where are you at in this entire process. Ideally, you are in the warm-up phase, because businesses will begin to open up over the next few weeks, slowly but surely, and new regulations will be in place and new standards will be set when it comes to understanding what I must do as a business owner to have my team safe, to have my customers safe, what that looks like if I have a brick and mortar location, all of those things. Life is going to be different coming out of all of this, so we must be prepared. And so ideally you are in the warm-up phase, so that way you are now preparing for the path forward. You're preparing for the sprint that lies ahead. And so we talked all last week about building a strong mindset and routine. That's absolutely critical. Starting to get your team in place and letting them know what the new shifts will be in your business based off of the new standards being set. Sometimes that may mean that there's a staggered amount of time that they come in. Sometimes that may mean that masks and gloves become the normal way of doing business, and how often they should be replacing them, and what they do when they go get them, or what they do when they dispose of them. Putting these type of simple systems in place and standards will be really important to be teaching your team, so they are aware of what's going on. That way they are safe and your customers and clients are safe as well. Look for opportunities where your competition may be lacking, that may give you a brand new opportunity. Maybe there's other businesses that you need to partner with, so that way when you launch, it's a combined effort versus just a solo effort. Be thinking about all these things so that way you are properly prepared in this warm-up phase. So from chaos into control, we focus on mindset. And something that's interesting, it takes your mind 5 good things to be told to it to counteract every one bad one, which I found very interesting. So you get told one bad thing, one negative thought enters into your head, it's literally going to take 3 to 5 new good things to be put into the mind to help counteract that one bad, which is why we must bombard our mind with the positive. We must flood it with the positive. We must focus on where we want to go, so that way our mind doesn't naturally shift into the negative, because it so naturally will do that all the time. Most of the news out there and the social media posts and our friends and our family are all focused on the negative. And the reason why most people focus on it, the reason why most, they say all the time, it's easier to sell prescription drugs than it is to sell vitamins, right? It's easier to sell painkillers than it is to sell vitamins, because people so naturally focus on the negative, because it takes so much more positive to counteract that in our mind, that for most it's not a talent, a skill, a routine that they've got themselves into. And so I want you to be focused on that, and I want you to share that with your team and your circle of influence, because that's the importance of it. If we are not consistently bombarding our mind with the positive things, with the good things in life, with the things that we're grateful for in life. And if you didn't download the resource that we gave out last week, please do, because at the bottom of it, every single day, you're going to write out the one, at least one win and one thing that you were grateful for that day. Not that week, not that month, not that quarter, that day. So flood your mind, bombard your mind with the positive, because it's going to take that effort to be able to counterbalance all of the negative talk that is out there, which then talks about your self-talk. The most important conversation you ever have every single day is the conversation with yourself. What you say to yourself, about yourself, when you're by yourself. It's the most powerful conversation you will ever have. And so to remove the negative self-talk and to focus on the positive self-talk, we must bombard our mind with the positive, with the good, with where we're going, this destination, the point of interest that we are building all of this towards. That is the importance of it. It helps you have the strongest mindset in the room. That's why we want you to be in a routine with all of this so it becomes consistent. So for this week, focus on having at least 5 positive things for every one negative that enters into your mind. And focus on the things that you're telling yourself about yourself. Your self-talk is where it all begins, which starts with the thoughts that we have, which is why mindset is absolutely 100% so critical. All right. So as we talked about, this week's focus is going to be marketing. So let's dive in. I've asked you this question a whole lot, which is, what is your after? 10 years from now, you're not going to remember all the struggles. You're going to remember how you ended up. You're going to remember how you persevered through it. You're going to remember what you did to make sure you and your team pushed through this entire thing. What do you want your after to look like? How do you do that? Well, you put the right plan in place, the right routine from last week, the right marketing in place, the right team systems, and all of that. First, though, we must focus on identifying, what do we want our after to look like? So what should it look like? Marketing. Let's dive in. Marketing has 2 roles. Very first role is communication. We talk a lot. So, and I'm going to coach you today and teach today, focus on adding value. It's not about you, it's about them. So first role of marketing is communication. What are you communicating? How are you communicating it? Then we get into the education piece. So what do you need to help your audience learn? What do you need to educate them on maybe what you provide? Maybe coming out of this, you're going to provide things differently or provide different things altogether, whether that's product or services. So your marketing has 2 primary focuses: communication and education. How you communicate, what you communicate, where you communicate it, all of those types of things. Do more video now than you've ever done in the past. Video is where it is at. And then educate, add more value. So think of, if you needed to, let's say this, write down 5 things that you can educate your audience on, and then go do it. And then make sure, though, that step 1, communicate, make sure that you're communicating with them, that you're going to educate them. Don't make the presumption that everyone just is going to see it. Proactively educate your audience and say, you know what? Every Friday at 2 p.m., we're going to be putting on our whatever platform one new thing that you can do from home based off of what we do, as an example. And so that way you're communicating to your audience when they need to tune in so that they go watch it, as a quick example. So make sure you communicate that you're going to educate. That way they're looking for it and they know, oh man, that's really awesome. They're adding value to me. Don't just presume that people are going to see it. Give it to them. And then maybe the following week, you send whatever that you did live, you send it out to them. So now they have it 2 different ways. They could have seen it on, your website, social media, wherever you put it. And now they have it maybe in their email where it's on demand and they can click on it, and it's on YouTube or something like that. Or maybe it's just a link to, your website or wherever you originally posted it. Marketing has these 2 critical roles. And so you must get really good at both of them, communication and education. Now, current state, your business must add value. So talk about giving true service, upgrading them, giving them more than they expect. So be transparent with what your service or product is, and again, going back to communication, communicate how it may be different for them, communicate everything that you offer, because they may have always just made one type of purchase, and this may be a great opportunity for them to make a different type of purchase that you may have already had, and they just were not aware, or maybe it didn't make sense for them in the moment, and now it might. So True service. Again, this is where the 3 levels of customer service kick in: expected, appreciated, and distinguished, which is a whole nother webinar in and of itself. Upgrade them. Maybe you need to say, for the month of whatever next month is, for the month of May, when you do this, we're going to give this extra thing to you. Maybe it's about that. Maybe it's about value. Maybe it's about when you purchase. When you purchase in May, we're going to give you something for June for free, or we're going to upgrade you in June, or whatever that might be. Or when you pay for 3 months, we're going to give you the 4th month free. Whatever that is, maybe you need to focus on that right now. And then obviously, as it states, give them more than they expect. Now, here's the thing on this one. Studies have shown, you hear the phrase, under promise, over deliver. Studies have shown that if you always, 100% of the time, 80% of the time, when the majority is over delivering based off of what someone has bought, they start to become skeptical. They start to think, well, maybe I'm overpaying for something. So you do want to make sure that consistently you are hitting what it is. And then from time to time, you are over giving. You are hitting above what is expected. Always, under promise, over deliver. Always over delivering 100% of the time is actually going to become a negative for your business. So we don't necessarily want to do that. Even though you could, that would be phenomenal. It actually starts to hurt the business and the perception. So we want to make sure that we're hitting on target consistently. Let's make sure we're doing that first, right? Delivery that's why it's part of mastery level of business. Mastery level of business has 4 areas, the 4th one being delivery. We want to make sure that we're consistent with it. Then we can over deliver from time to time. This may be one of those times where it's time to do that. Then we get into building an actual campaign. Now we start to get into one of the mistake in marketing is just doing ad hoc things, right? Just doing, well, we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that, and then we're going to do this, without having them all tied together. So in your marketing message, we have to make sure that they all tie together. Help them understand the purpose behind it. Why will they reply? Why will they share it? Why will they make a purchase with you? Why will they agree to a phone call or Zoom? Or why would they agree to scheduling something for when your doors open back up? Why would they ever do any of that? It starts with the purpose. Then we can start diving into the what, the how, the actual messaging, the offers, stuff like that. So once you should know your targets. Let's start there, actually. You should know your targets. Who are we going for? Now, based off of the who, we can make sure communication is proper. We can make sure that we're educating properly. We can make sure that the purpose of all of it is on point. So we must be able to know who we're targeting. So that way the why is going to be bespoke. It's going to be tailored. It's going to be specific to each one of them. Which brings us to the last point on marketing today, which are your headlines. It is the headline in the ad. It is the subject line in your email. It is the very beginning of a conversation. It's the first 5 minutes of a 15-minute video. It's the first 30 seconds of a 2-minute video. You see, the very first thing that people see is the headline. The first thing that they hear is the headline. You have 10 words that they're going to skim to identify if there's value for them to actually move forward. So don't use your name. When it comes to your headline, don't use your name. Make it about them, you. So today, our focus is going to be marketing today. Or if you have an actual social media post that's going out, focus on them. How is it going to benefit them? Again, you have 10 words. Make it an open loop. Make it you want to lead them towards the next step, whatever that actually is. Focus on the benefits. How is this going to add value to them in their lives right now? How is it going to reduce their stress? How is it going to be more good news? How is it going to be positive? How are you going to be the shining light in their day that they're so excited about, that's going to give them more energy and help them get past that day? because a lot of people are just in survival mode. They're not thinking about where they're going, which is why you must, so that way you can help lead them. And that may not be leading them towards their ultimate goal. It may just be, you know what, it's going to be 30 minutes of rejuvenating you, giving you more energy, so that way you can go tackle the rest of today and the rest of this week in a more positive light. Ultimately getting down towards with them. What's in it for me? We are very selfish human beings. And especially in a crisis mode, in a pandemic, when people are stressed, they're focused on survival, which is me focused. Very rarely is it others focused, which is why I want you to be others focused, which means that your routine, which means that your cup has to be filled so that way you can pour out into others. So don't use your name in your marketing. It's the least thing that's important. What matters is what's in it for them, the offer and all of that. Make it focused on them. Let it be an open loop so it starts the conversation. They start to read more, they start to listen more, whatever that is, and focus on what's going to benefit them. These are the primary focuses for your marketing. They always have been, candidly. Now, if you haven't and your business hasn't been great at it, now it's time to focus on it. Happiness is a direction, it's not a place. So focus on the positive, focus on the destination of where we're heading, where you're heading, and then allow your marketing message to follow suit. This is the time where we must be adding value to others. And if you don't have a plan to actually do that, if you don't have a marketing campaign system, if you don't have a plan for your business on how to sprint forward in your team to get them prepared, or yourself, if you don't have a team, then join us on Wednesday, the 29th for an hour and a half midday, 11 to 12:30, where we are going to help create and guide you towards your 30-day sprint for the next month. So everyone needs a plan, very candidly. If you don't have a plan, then you're kind of just letting the world take you by storm, and chances are you're not going to survive. I'm going to be as honest as I can be. If you don't have a plan and then held accountable to that plan, that's why we're seeing businesses already fall, because they are not preparing properly. So make sure that you plan with us so that way you can take action on that plan accordingly. I'm Dr. Michael Hartley. I'm here to elevate your business, enhance your lifestyle, and make it a good one. If you have questions today, please feel free to type them into the comment section. And if not, make it a phenomenal rest of your day.